Hey, so here's the thing. When people put absolutely egregious, rude, ridiculous comments, chats, emails, phone calls, things like that, sometimes I do that little picture function with my phone on the transcript or basically the comment section, stuff like that. I'm not going to give you their full names, or actually, I won't give you any of the names of the comments, but bottom line, I'm going to read them to you and then give you my take on it because it's one of those things where you constantly get pummeled when you are somebody that is of your industry, like the person who has the most views or the most this, or a lot of subscribers. You get attacked by aggressive people who just absolutely hate you for no reason. Let's go ahead and go through with the first comment. This was recent. This was on the Donald Trump Social Security changes video that he likely wants to do with the upcoming Social Security / tips / taxes things that he's kind of promoting. Okay. First one here. Here we go. You need to stop pretending you're not a MAGA Republican. It's quite obvious every time you talk politics. If you're going to continue to push your political views, I'm done with your channel. If going to be a partisan, you're going to ruin your channel. So I feel like, to be fair, I have provided to everybody a lot of amazing pro-left, pro-right, anti-left, anti-right videos. My videos, however, talk about the left more. Why? Because they are in control. They have the most power. So people automatically assume because I talk about the left and things they could have, should have, would have done, that I am super pro MAGA. And the reality is that I was the RFK guy in the room. And so the bottom line, just to be very clear, is that when you're in power, you're going to get more videos about you. And if you don't accomplish things at the level that I expected, then I'm going to shit talk you and I'm going to go through what you should have done. And that's the reality. Next one. This was actually a highlighted reply to that one. Here we go. He needs to remember who his audience primarily is - poor, disabled folks, and not solidly middle class or higher for the most part. He needs to just be honest about the fact that Trump Republicans want to cut the safety net programs most disability recipients depend on for survival. What's politically is the best interest of a high-earning business owner like himself is not the same as what's going to be in the best interest of poor disability recipient. He would do well to remember that. So first of all, just to break this down real quick, just to have a little bit of a better understanding of essentially what the person wrote. He needs to remember who his audience primarily is. My audience is all kinds of people. It's not just disabled. It's not just retired. It's not just Social Security recipients. It's all kinds of people. Poor disabled folks and not solidly middle class or higher for the most part. First of all, there is a very big problem with the disabled and the retired. Beneficiaries are blind to the reality of who pays for their check. Wake up. Who pays for your check needs to be healthy and satisfied with their job and their life. Because otherwise, they're not going to pay for your check. Wake up. There is a massive bias by the disabled and the retired and the recipients, where they forget that the working class has to pay for them. Remember, the people that pay for you to have the life where you don't have to go to a job, those individuals, you should give some consideration to, some thought as to how healthy they are right now. And they're shit right now. They're not doing well at all. So when I point out where the money's coming from that supports these programs, it's because it's a little relevant to your ability to receive a check. It's like 100% relevant to the future of your benefits. Literally, trust funds are running out, not because you're disabled, because the middle class can't afford you. So am I thinking about the people who pay taxes and then giving you videos on how their current standing is? Yes, I am. Because if I don't do that, guess what? You will continue to just think about receiving benefits and not where they come from. He needs to just be honest about the fact that Trump and Republicans want to cut the safety net programs most disability recipients depend upon for survival. I think he does. I think he wants to continue to strangle them. So do I think President Biden did. And sorry, it's not does, he did. He factually did that. He did try to give them more funding, but he gave zero effing effort on the playground to push forward an agenda for the future of Social Security benefits. Oh, he wanted to give them more money for the administration. Zero effort for pushing the bills to make it to tier 2 of the conversations. Zero effort. You think Kamala is going to do any better? Give me a fucking break. I love you all. I do. But flying monkeys and pigs all day long is what you keep telling me is going to happen and how wonderful it's going to be. But the reality is this. Okay? If you want to actually fix this program, there ain't nobody among the lineage of the Obama, the Biden, the Harris, none of that lineage is going to do that. You need one of the actual great Democrats, like Martin O'Malley, like John Larson. You need one of them. You don't need a Harris. I understand you don't have a choice because literally the person was picked for you. You know, you got to keep democracy, except the problem is you just didn't get to vote for the person that you're going to have to vote for. So you're stuck, right? Shirley, thank you for the $1.99 donation. I super appreciate that. And then also Puerto Rican Mike, howdy, with the $2 donation. That's excellent. Thank you. Let me put the hearts on those. That's awesome. Oh, I see Shirley had 2 donations at the top, 99 and $1.99, which is awesome. Very, very cool. I see the comment about feeding the dog. I was actually feeding the dogs and taking them outside. So just to keep up with this comment, what's politically in the best interest of high earning business owners like himself? Where do you think I'm a high earner? Where? My accountant who does my stuff for my taxes. I can't even say what he said. I can't even say because it's going to just talk about like cash on hand stuff. He was not impressed. He was very unimpressed. He was concerned. Okay. This business of disability benefits, I don't do it the right way. I spend way too much per claimant, and that is a huge problem, a massive problem. Okay. The big box firms that do disability, they do it the right way. They don't get a hold of you much. They don't run hearing questions with you. They barely, update you on anything. And a lot of the stuff is through a receptionist. But that financial model for the little bit of money you get per claim, that works. What I do doesn't work. It doesn't work. I spend way too much per claimant. I spend way too much time with each claimant. It financially doesn't work. Okay. It's just reality. So in other words, unfortunately, I'm going to have to let this, I'm not going to say her full name, but the cat lady down because unfortunately, I am not a high earning business owner. I am a shit out of luck business owner. Next part of it. So owners like himself is not the same as what's going to be in the best interest of a poor disability recipient. And he would do well to remember that. How many of you guys have seen me make a video about how the rich can screw over the poor and get away with it? Because I haven't made one yet. I haven't made one with that theme. It just hasn't tickled my interest because I have been very straightforward with the rich not allowing a 15% increase on future earnings. I've been very honest about that. I know the Democratic bill that is proposed decade after decade ain't going to go through. I know that. You know that. We historically, timeline fashion-wise, know that. We know that 30 years ago, it's the same answer as it is today. It ain't going to go through. Let's go to the next one. Here we go. All you do is fear. Fear-mongering piece of shit. F you. And I hope you bleep. You don't deserve air. I'm going to take yours, Jew bag. Frankly, there's a lot in there. A small package of anger. Here's the thing. You can attack me for a lot of things. You can say I'm Jewish and you don't like that. You can say I'm a Mason and you don't like that, even though I'm like the worst attending Mason ever. I just don't do what I'm supposed to do. You can say I'm fear-mongering, but I want to make one point. Have I been wrong about any of the technologies, modifications, rule changes that have come out or are likely to come out in the future Remember when I made that video about the chips, like installation of a chip into the brain or the body that would act with some prosthetics, mental integration, synapse correction, finding, cancerous cells in your body. Remember when I made that and everybody lost their damn mind because there's fear-mongering. They're never going to have chips. And then I gave you in another video the details about how basically chips are widely used in many other countries. America, was using chips, and the first brain chip was in the 1990s. And everybody's like, "There's no brain chips yet. There's just that one that Elon did." No. There's an entire industry of that stuff. That chip stuff is going to literally cure cancer. Be able to have the body regrow things off of it. They'll have a chip where if you have your arm lost in war, it will literally allow your body to create the cells to regrow your arm, and it will function as a CPU with each stage of your body doing that. You'll be hungry because you'll have to make a lot of cells, but it will be able to do that. It will be able to go into the mind of a PTSD person and three-dimensionally map out the issues with the dreams and the awake moments where they have these flashbacks. It'll be able to go and see those so that therapists, behavioralists, psychologists, psychiatrists will be able to study them. The reality is people take a religious thing to it. I don't disagree. It's too much control from something else. I get it. But if we could control the environment that it can actually interact with you in, that's the key to this. Because the reality is with this stuff, having a computer be able to go ahead and repair impairments, no matter what it is, that's the future I want to see. I want to see healthy people. And if people say, "Oh, that's terrible, you shouldn't have healthy people," well, then that's okay. It is, you're going to say what you're going to say. It is what it is. Okay. Next one. You need to stop making videos. Your staff is evil. That's Shadow. He's got snuffles. I know where to find them. I have your company people list. You'll never see it coming. So we get ones like this. There was another one recently from a guy who called. He was a VA guy, claimed he was a 32nd degree Master Mason, said he was going to go on every blog and put that he hates me and nobody should use me. And what happened was he called the firm and just did not give any space for the question, the person at the firm to ask questions. Then when that person asked some questions and went into some details about, the statements, he lost it, hung up the phone, and then sent these angry texts. And male veterans, PTSD, they blow up. The problem is not all the employees know the length at which a PTSD veteran is likely to go and actually commit a crime involving a firearm against my staff. That's the main issue I don't know how to deal with. I haven't figured that one out myself yet. Next one. You don't really care about us because you don't know what it's like for me. Nobody knows what anything's like for you because you're special. Nobody's been through the same traumas you have. You're special. Nobody's going to understand what you need a week from now, a month from now, but you. And even you, I question, might not actually know what you need because it's a moving target. It's a moving target. But in general, I'm pretty sure higher benefits, right? Better health insurance. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Transportation. That's important. Proper housing, right? You know how many disabled people have a hole in their roof? All right. Next one. It's people like you who need to give up what you have to people like me and stop complaining about it. So the reparations argument, or the just take from anybody that has anything, there is, like I said, there's this blind side from the disabled when it comes to essentially, when it comes to understanding what the working class is going through, and the retired. The disabled don't really connect with the retired well. It's an interesting thing. Disabled people, so retired are like, I work, da, 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 da. Disabled people often feel like the retired are challenging them when the retired talk about their work history. They're not challenging you, right? They're just telling you a story. They're old. They just want to hang out and communicate and, drink prunes and beer at the same time, which I can't always recommend, but if you can make it work, throw some pears in there, go for it. Old school trucker, I super appreciate it. I super appreciate it. And that's a beautiful thing about this channel, is that it has some incredible people who are super duper supportive. And sometimes I get cards in the mail, and I read them, and they're just simple. They're just simply like, good job at not sucking at life. Good job for, and I appreciate those. And it hasn't been great for me either. I don't go into the traumatic things that have happened in my life. And if I went through them, you would be shocked and horrified as well, because, broken humans, you can't always trust a broken human unless they're broken and they learn from that breaking. And I've learned from a lot of things. I have not buying music gear, like wanting to be in the music industry and not buying music gear. I haven't learned from that one, but a lot of the other ones I've learned. I've got that down. But Old School Trucker, thank you for the $20 donation. I super appreciate it, because it's been an interesting, it's been a tough year. It really has been it's been an interesting year. Princess 05 royalty right there with the 99-cent donation. I super appreciate it, with a little sad red face there, a little angry face. So, in order to, how I used to do those videos where I would, and I have more video, I just haven't had a chance to edit them and publish them, where I would interview the homeless. It was weird, because a lot of the disabled, like, some people were super supportive, some people were neutral, and then there were a lot of disabled who were just mean to those homeless people. They were like, you need to go get a job because you can get a job. I'm like, dude, they're homeless. They're homeless because they literally could not get a job because their choices were that bad and their impairments were that limiting. Like, that combination, and you end up homeless. It surprised me. It surprised me that I saw so many disabled people like attacking these homeless people. Like, you don't look. I get the drug addiction thing. I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. And it happens. You see a lot of guys who come from that. It's their culture. It's their family. They've been selling and driving and delivering and running for a long time. I see a lot of women, right? Women that get stuck in this, and they get hooked on it, and then they're stuck with that dealer, runner, whatever, for the rest of the. I get it. That's not an amputation or anxiety and depression. Well, it is anxiety and depression. It's not degenerative disc disease. I get it. But at some point, some of the disabled who are angry and mean towards them, maybe just maybe consider this. If you have like anxiety, depression, schizoaffective, schizophrenia, multiple personality, whatever, if you have mental impairments, what makes you any different from a long-term hardcore drug user? Your brain doesn't work properly, right? Theirs doesn't either. It doesn't. It's likely never really going to be right. They've abused it too much with, chemicals. It ain't never going to be perfect. What's so different there? I just thought there would be more camaraderie between disabled and the users. And I was wrong about that one. That one shocked me. That one did catch me off guard. Because, to be fair, those users, they can't live without another hit. A lot of you don't know this. I dated a user. I didn't know how bad she was. I didn't know. I thought she was off. I thought, because remember, people go through stages, and I was naive to it. I didn't realize it, and look, unless you put them in a program where they don't have a phone and they can't talk to people, or they're in jail or prison, they're going to go back, because they have to have it, because their brain only thinks about the next hit. That's it. Just like anxiety. You're sitting there until you get hit with the next attack. And then it's shit all over, a hurricane of ideas. A hurricane of, and until you freeze, and then, it is what it is. So, okay, next one. They didn't spell people right. They put PEOP. White peep don't deserve benefits. They should give up theirs for what they did to us. I don't know who this is. I'm assuming this is African American. I don't know. It could be Spanish, because of what happened in the very beginning of America with the Spanish. Could be South American or Mexico, because of what was done basically to those groups. What is funny, just as a side note, I was having a discussion, black guy, and I was explaining to him why the Jewish people are their own identity. They're their own race, right? And it wasn't flying with him. He was like, no, that's bullshit. But then he argued with me. how a Caribbean black person is a different race than an African black person. In which case I was like, yeah, it makes sense. But then why would Ashkenazis, German Jews, not be their own race when they only were, you know what I mean, having kids with each other for a really long time? Like, just, you know, walk me through that one. Like, how are Caribbean and African different? But I just, you know what I mean? Anyway, I still haven't figured out how to respond to that one. I still haven't figured out, like, what do you do with that, you know? Another one. Let's see. It's people like you who need to give what you have to people like me and stop complaining about it. I get those all the time. You're a bleep. It's like an ugly word, and we'll need your dog's compassion. I thought that one was cute. I thought that one was funny. I took it that way. I took it as a joke. It wasn't meant as a joke, but I took it as a joke. Because who doesn't love chubby dogs? You know what I mean? They're so adorable. They're fat. They roll over. I rub their bellies. They're happy. Shit is what it is. You know what I mean? Standard of living for humans should be better. Standard of living for dogs should be better. You know, I got to be honest with you. You know, I feel a lot of compassion for the disabled. I feel a lot of compassion for Social Security recipients. I like the program because it makes sense. People suck at saving, so we got Social Security. It's the only socialist thing I'm really, really down for, and I think it makes sense because we got to make sure we cover our bases, right? Makes sense. But I don't get nearly as emotional, as angry, or feel the feels as when I see an animal being abused. When I see an animal being abused, I become rabid as a person. Now, this is messed up because I'll still eat a steak. You know what I mean? I'll still eat a steak day and night, you know? And then a person in my life who was really, really amazing and awesome, who unfortunately took her own life. She introduced me to the vegan food and stuff like that, which ironically, if you ever have like a vegan burger, like your digestion of it is perfect. It's amazing. That thing goes in and everything's perfect. There's no like, I got a rumbly tumbly or I got to run to the back. There's none of that. You just instant digestion is amazing. But, you know, like I said, you know, there's certain things, you know, cows. I love the way they taste. I do. Right. I'm not bringing up the whole dog cat thing. I'm not even going into that. I'm just not touching that. Okay. It is the hole that legacy news station has dug, and they have literally no way out of it. They just that somebody's just taken their ladder out of that hole and broken it into a billion pieces, and then they ran with it on social media. But Raymond Yarbrough, thank you for the $1 donation. That's awesome. Very, very cool. Super duper awesome. Shirley with your hamburger, 99-cent donation. That's very, very cool. I absolutely love that. I do miss I love hamburgers. I love steaks. But there is you know what I mean? I feel bad for animals at an extremely high level. I feel very emotionally connected to their well-being. Like when I see an abused dog, I get livid. You know what I mean? Like when I see one of those like cuddly emails where they show like an abused dog, and I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, do I live near where this person is, and how do I find them? You know? But again, you know, I'm the first one to admit I'm a hypocrite because I'll go eat a steak. You know, no doubt about it, I'll eat a steak, you know? So, Old School Trucker, thank you for the $2 donation. Super, super love it. He's 2 schnauzers having puppies right now. That's amazing. That's an incredible experience. The little puppies are going to turn into velociraptors and run around and have an amazing time. But thank you. For the $2 donation. Update on Sweetie, by the way. There was another person who left a 1-star review on the law firm website on Google that basically said, my videos suck now and all I do is talk about my dogs. So let's do that. Let's talk about them. Sweetie has undergone cancer surgery. They removed 4 cancerous nodules. She's doing well, but she looks a little bit Frankenstein-y because she's got these, you know, giant surgery marks on her all over. You know, it's 3 main locations and they pulled a total of 4 out. Basically, she's doing well. She has to be in these things called pseudocles, which is like a suit for the dog as she's recovering and such. I was nearly murdered / fired the moment I got her home from the vet from basically Fort Lauderdale area. The moment I drove back up here, I walked out to my pool, which was very green, very green. The pool guy was just doing a shit job. Very, very green. And I'm walking around the pool, like I drop her little leash and I walk around the pool real quick. I'm just like, oh, this looks terrible. And my brain's, I hadn't had much sleep because I had to drive down. There was emergency surgery, all that stuff. So I hadn't had much sleep. And then what does Sweetie do? She runs. She runs to the entrance of the pool and toddles right into it with her fresh surgery marks. Anyways, the vet fired me. The vet fired me good. The vet sent me straight to jail. Didn't get to see the judge. No parole. No options available. Straight to prison. Not a second to waste. I got fired by the veterinarian. I really did. I really did. I really, really did. Davion said, what's your opinion on federal court review? I mean, which one? I mean, you got, well, technically it's all federal court review, initial filing, reconsideration, ALJ hearing, appeals council, federal district circuit, and Supreme Court. I'm assuming you mean dis circuit and Supreme. And then of course it depends on, look, when it comes to those claims, it's all about legal error. They don't want to hear a bunch of factual error, this factual error, that, unless it's really good. It's all about legal error where the judge made a mistake. That'll get you the remand that you're looking for. Shirley, thank you for the 99-cent donation. Excellent, excellent. Super appreciate it. And also Sherry for the $2 donation. Sherry Wilkes. I appreciate you and your hard work for all of us. For us all. That's amazing. And I super appreciate it. Wilkes is a name that normally you would see in the tri-state area. Like I used to play soccer with Wilkes, and I used to play lacrosse with Wilkes people, and I used to go to school with Wilkes people. So that's a last name I know. That's the last name that I've seen a lot. So, all right. With that said, just as a heads up, I am flying tomorrow to go up to the family farm. As you know, I am the only son of the family, which means I get to do landscaping up there. I fly up there. I do some work during the day, of course, with the firm for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then basically Saturday, Sunday, I work the entire day on the farm. But, I work, after 5 p.m. on the farm while I'm there. So if, you want to catch up with me, I will be available on the phone for each work day. But keep in mind, I will be running hearing questions with people. So if you have a hearing coming up with the firm and you think you're going to get off from having to run hearing questions, no. I'm calling you. I'm going to beat you up a little bit. We can get you strong for these hearings. All right. Anyways, Princess, thank you for the $2 donation. Princess is royalty, of course, with the channel. I will catch you all a little bit later. I hope you have an amazing, amazing night. Another one, I am Sugi. That's a really cool name. That's like a cool anime name right there. There are some shows. I'm not going to go into nerd mode and geek out on some things, but let me tell you something. If we ever get a chance to talk about cool stuff like Warhammer or wow, what's that one that's out? It's just Castlevania, the remake they did with Castle. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely. Anyways, point is, you guys have an amazing night. I hope you do super duper well. I will catch you a little bit later. James Moody with the $10 donation. We as a community appreciate everything you do, and don't let these individuals get to you. I honestly think these individuals are preparing me for whatever my future life is, whether or not I have to beat up people who beat up dogs. I'm all for that. If you guys want me to do that, sign me up. Okay. The pay rate's about the same. I'm all for it. Okay. If I end up in politics, these people have definitely strengthened me. But the amazing thing about it is people will try to hurt the thing that's trying to help them until the thing that helps them actually gives them the money in hand. I've run into that a lot in my life. Like somebody will have a great idea and everybody will hate it, and then people will get on board with it. But there will always be that as a percentage of people that are just, I don't like it. And until it puts the money in their hands, they're not on board. So whatever bills we create, money in their hand up front, that should be the main thing. Okay. I will catch you guys a little bit later. Talk to JFK about fixing Social Security. I never got to actually reach out to him with a full detail list. I have one for the Democrats, for Harris, and I have one for Trump. They're different. They're stylistically different. The Democrat one is more Democrat policy, procedure, etc. The Republican one is more it's ideas. It's really cool ideas about how the rich on the Republican side can actually buy quarters of coverage to get taxation discounts on other earnings they have. that will basically more likely increase longevity of the Social Security trust funds. It's just ideas to use rich from the Republican side to, like, give them something that gives them a benefit that benefits the Social Security Administration more. Again, they're just ideas. I'm going to pass them on and see what happens. I don't make any money from those ideas going out to them. It's just, if I can make it better, we're going to make it better, because I'm in the system. I live in the system. So why not use the brain, the saucy nuggets to deliver? So I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night. I really appreciate all the positivity in here. And I will catch you guys. And hopefully everything will go well. And a safe trip tomorrow and a safe flight. And you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night. And please remember to take care of yourself. We got 2 more months of the craze, the what's going to happen. 2 more months. We just got to make it through that. And then it's all gravy from there. And by gravy, I mean there's some chunks in it. All right. I will catch you later. You have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. All right. Attorney Walter Hnot. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.